Alrighty, we are live. Columbus OH. And it's the Ramsey Show Aftershow show for Election Day. That is Tuesday, November 5. And it is, make sure that's loud enough. Yeah, that's good, I think. What else was I going to say about November? Oh yeah, it's a 76 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and that is a bit tepid for a November 5, isn't it? In Ohio. So, I mean, there's been freezing Halloweens before. What up, Sid? How's it going? That's okay. I just made that other one a moderator too, Sid. So all good, all good, all good. Marshall. What up? Get started in just a second here. Let me get a little agua. The election day. Yeah, I don't trust any of them on either side. I mean, and I think no matter what you believe, and most people are just one or two issue people, and they vote on one issue and they're fine with everything else. And generally, if their candidate wins, they don't pay attention to politics for 4 years. So they don't know what's happening. Because they just say, oh, my party's in charge, it'll be fine. And they have no idea. And really, the presidents themselves cannot do much without Congress. So, and it takes a bunch of work to get stuff through Congress, and you got to make deals, and you're constantly compromising your morals there, or things that you promised, and so forth. So, Sid doubling it on my duty. That's right. Boom, boom, boom. It's the content cleanse I need. It's Misty Bikini. Thanks, Misty Bikini. What are we doing? Oh, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, you just scroll down. I need to change the order of these probably. The Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. That is the weekend stream, and I'm not doing that anymore for the time being. That is on hiatus until further notice. I was only doing 2 after shows a week, but now I'm going to do it every single day until I get a job that takes me away from it. But maybe that won't happen. We'll see how it works out. But as long as I am not working during this time slot, I will be doing an after show. And even if I am working during this time slot, perhaps I would do an after show whatever time I would get home. So we'll see how that works. And this is number 411. Do I have them all in there now? 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, 4, 9, 4, 10. Yeah, and this is number 411. So yes, I do have them all in there. So sometimes I forget to add it to the playlist, but I didn't this time. Music, I have 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Still not quite ready to add the 12th, suggested by Mr. Sid and written by Sid herself. And that's Bad Habits Lead to Death. And we'll see how that goes. The lyrics are great. enjoy the lyrics very much. Once you try to start writing these things, it's just they write themselves pretty much, because all you got to be able to do is rhyme things, and you're just applying the Ramsey advice to that, or in this case, explaining the bad habits that do lead to debt. Market report, and I guess traders either happy that we're going to have an answer tonight on the presidency. Maybe sometimes they like to, if it's too close, they like to say, yeah, we're not answering tonight. We're not calling it tonight. We're going to do some recounts. We'll get back to you on that. But maybe just traders excited about it being over, the election, all the ads and such being over. Or they're just confident on whatever person they wanted to win, and so they bought. Or it didn't have anything to do with that, and just the prices were down low enough where their preset computers would buy it. So, and I think it's been up all day today. Yeah, you can see there's the dotted line right there where my cursor is, dotted horizontal line that I'm tracing across right there. That was the close yesterday, and it opened way up. This is the NASDAQ. I'm sure the S&P is the same, pretty much the same. Not as much, but still entirely up today. So not really, and that's why your volatility index, which is down 6.78%. And that is one you do want to be down, because you don't want there to be so much volatility. Unless it's going up, then it can be as volatile as it wants to be. I will allow it for that. Let's see what we got in the rest of the planet. Everything but FTSE up in the Europe. In Asia, everything up as well. Let's see how the dollar did. Generally, the dollar would be down on a good market day, but we'll see. Euro up over the US dollar. Japanese yen up over the US dollar, but the British pound low up over the US dollar. Canadian dollar up against the US dollar. And the Australian dollar up against the US dollar. So it is a clean sweep. And so, like I said, it just seems to be that way a lot of the time. When the market is up pretty good like this, they're all over 1% up, which is fabulous if you look at an index that's up over 1%, because what you're looking for the year is 10%. To be up 10% total, and 1% is 10% of that. So in one day you get 10% of what you want it to be at minimum, and of course you want to make more than that. And so that's why you just wouldn't do S&P 500 index fund, and the NASDAQ index fund even beats the S&P 500 over the last 15 years. Not every single year of those, but I think 12 out of the 15, something like that. And so then you should have money in the NASDAQ. If you're only going to do index, put some in the NASDAQ too. Why not? But managed mutual funds even beat these index numbers, even after you take out the higher expense ratio for the managed funds. They are worth paying that expense ratio. If it makes 7% more and the expense ratio is 1% more, that's still 6% more even after you take that out. I said percent like Bernie Sanders. What else did we need to do here? Oh, we want to see futures tomorrow, looking good as well for tomorrow. Everything over 1% as well. Oh, let's see let's see what kind of who is reporting. Oh, Supermicro reported, and they were supposedly gonna be bad today. Bad news today, supposedly, but no, I mean, it had been dropping. Oh, in the after hours, it dropped as well. So yeah, it had been dropping, but this, where is it? Yeah, it closed. I mean, it opened a little bit below yesterday's close. The dotted line is right here where my cursor is going across. So it opened. It eventually it got pretty much immediately. It got out up above where it closed, and then people were buying it earlier in the day. You see how far up it was. But then once they announced at 4 o'clock, which is right here, it went up a little bit more, and then beep beep doo doo. Let's see what it says. Stock slides 10% on weaker than expected outlook. Okay, that's the outlook is the guidance on buying the stock as far as how much it is going to be making in the next quarter, and so they cut the sales outlook. Board found no evidence of fraud. Still has no timetable. Oh yeah, I think they're like accounting firm quit or something like that over suspicion of fraud happening. So that also can be a problem with your company as far as your stock not going up. Now, not there. Oh, let's see. Let me before the chat gets away from me. Let's see. And said no one did anything wrong. Oh, she's just trying to set a different tone for herself. I guess Trey and myself and whoever else said maybe. I guess we're not her cup of tea right now, or maybe never again. So yeah, and that's fine. I support anybody's ability to block anybody, of course, and I do a ton of that myself. You can vote them out in the primary. Yep, you can. So it tries to not to vote for incumbents personally. And why would that be, Sid? Is it because, I mean, really, there is not that much different. The national debt is going to go up way too much no matter who wins. What else is going to happen? They're still going to be probably higher than the 2% inflation per year that the Fed wants, supposedly wants. That's what they say. And all kinds of other stuff. Everything that is in their financial plan, I would say hardly any of that's going to happen because it does have to get through Congress. And so I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see who we got. We got Qualcomm and ARM tomorrow. I don't know what ARM is. And Vistra Corp. Don't know what those two companies are. Let's check the headlines. Home Depot, co-founder, GOP donor Bernie Marcus, dead at 95. Okay. On election day. Trump's stock for his media company wildly swings ahead of election results. Briefly halted for volatility. That shouldn't be surprising. That should be expected. Google claims world first as AI finds O-Day security vulnerability. AI helping us out there. You know, the only problem is if it can help us out, it probably can hurt us as well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe everything will be fine. Elon Musk top 20 Diablo 4 claim is as real as his self-driving cars. Okay. Diablo 4, a video game, and so maybe he's talking about his like all-time score or something in there. I do not know. CNBC bought 2 abandoned homes in Detroit that's Detroit, the state up north, for $3,300 and spent over $100,000 renovating them. All right. Be interested. Oh, let's check that out. Why not? Why not? CNBC's Make It section. Oh, no, I can do a couple without supporting. I will do that. I will not. I'll get you next time, CNBC. So is that the two right next to each other? Okay. I'm just wondering what they make now and what they look like. Serious water damage, extensive water damage, as you can see on the flaw there. That's, I mean, is that new and added, or was that there before? That's pretty nice. Pretty nice fireplace. Okay. Covered it in wood. Alrighty. Well, that wasn't like that before. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this was in progress. Some of it, but I would think you would do the floor first before you would do stuff to the walls. Oh, it is already scratched up over here on this side. Okay. All right. And I'm guessing this is after, or at least in progress picture. And that's not so good. I mean, $3,300. And so, I mean, if there were, 70,000 now, it depends on how much you spent fixing it up. Put it in addition, I guess. Lived on the second property in 2021 and moved out and leased it to a family friend. He is letting them live there rent free until the renovation is complete. Okay. Estimated he'll need 100,000 to 150,000 and does not want to take out a loan. Oh, he's gonna build. He's gonna build a house at some point. Oh, says he plans to build a new house on the lot and do most of the work himself. So why'd you bother fixing up the other parts? I mean, unless the lot is much bigger and you're talking about just adding a building to that. So I'm very confused about that. And that probably makes a lot of noise when you bring in that kind of equipment right there. He was on the lot and do most of the work himself. Okay. But his advice is to not overthink it. Oh, to take advantage of auction process like the one the Detroit Land Bank Authority offers. Don't overthink it. Don't waste your time. You'd be surprised if you just get out and try it. You can accomplish anything. All right, Doc Brown. If you just set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Plan on buying more and building more. All right. Well, so it didn't look as great as I thought it was going to be, and I don't know what he means by building a new house on the lot. So I mean, just destroying everything that's there. No plans in place for when you start building. Yeah, I should really read through these first, but I didn't think I was gonna have to pull teeth to get what I wanted out of this. Thought it would very quickly tell me what was up with the what it's worth now after the renovation. Spent 100,000 over on that's renovating both of them. So like if they're both worth 100,000 now each, so I mean that is more money. So but apparently he's not gonna sell, gonna knock them down and rebuild apparently, unless like I said, unless it's a bigger lot than we think it is, and he has more room for another building. Palantir shares close up 23% to record an uplifting. Oh, to record on uplifting guidance, and that people do be needing pharmaceuticals for sure, and that's a pharmaceutical company, and they reported yesterday good news, and so they continued going up today. Honda's Prologue electric SUV is taking the U.S. by storm. Cuban names the investments most likely to send rich people to the poorhouse and describe how he would invest instead. Okay, I don't know his advice. We already got somebody that does that, so we don't need to know Mr. Cuban's. Netflix, Netherlands, and France offices raided in tax fraud probe. Oh, Netflix. Okay. Netflix doing the tax fraud, or somebody thinks so anyway. What else? Let's look at the most followed single stocks on the Google today, and the everything up, of course, and the most up as usual. Tesla's going to be the most up or the most down, almost daily. It has the most fluctuation. But everything up now. Yeah, no, Microsoft not up 1%. Apple and Alphabet not up 1% either. The lowest today, up 0.3%, which is better than being down for sure. And let's check on the chat. So if you vote for the same person who has been in the same role for 30 years, what are they going to do differently at that point? That much is certain. The career politician, people always worried about Dave being out of touch. You know who's out of touch as a career politician? Because, I mean, I don't care how often they meet with the people, they are not out living that way. They're not living amongst the people in the private sector. As I said, same issue with everyone screaming for term limits. All you have to do is not vote for the current person in office. You don't need a law to limit terms. Yeah. I did wonder about that, Aslan Fox. If it was a House or Senate, one vote for each. You have to see who aligns best with your interests. Yeah, and the political stuff reminds me of, I know a lot of people might not be into Star Wars, might not be that familiar with it, but episodes 1, 2, and 3 are very, very political, and they show how the political systems can be manipulated by certain people. And so forth. And so that's like an extra facet to the story, and it does have a lot to do with the events that happen throughout the franchise. Yes, it said on HDTV, two guys buy abandoned homes and live in them while they reno and flip. Okay, there's a lot of reno and flip shows, but not necessarily living in them while you buy it. But if you live there, you probably get more work done on it because you're there most of the time, I would assume. 10 to 15K and fix them up with actual unique design and sell them for 80 to 110K. And that's fabulous. Do you know how long they take on average, Sid? Any idea? Because, I mean, that's, if you want to go 15 to 80, that would be 65 according to my old man math. And so 65,000, and you made that in how long? Boom, 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 boom. What I was talking about is actually in Detroit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that because the house values, though, the values there just went way down. They just, and I think most a lot of neighborhoods like became abandoned and stuff like that. But I think it's coming back now. I think they try to stick to a few months. Yeah, and so you make 65,000 in a few months, and you do that what 4 times a year. That's 240,000. Again, old man math. He started flipping. Marshall's somebody, cousin, does flipping rentals and gets income from the multi-rentals. Yeah. Yeah, in Detroit, you could probably still find some really inexpensive homes there. What else did I want to look at? I think we looked at everything. We looked at everything on that. Let's get into questions. Alrighty. Well, I'll go first. Interesting phrasing here. I desire more support. Maybe not English as a first language, or just very poetic, perhaps. I desire more support with budgeting, especially beginning to build sinking funds and planning around paychecks. Is there a book that has more in-depth information on this? FPU maybe. You could do one of Rachel or Jade, or I think George has done one too. The Every Dollar webinar. Are the individuals here who could lend their expertise in this area? Here being the Ramsey Baby Steps community on the Facebook, giving Reddit, the Dave Ramsey subreddit, a break while it replenishes with questions, because I used them all up. I only 1,000 at a time appear on there. I've used every dollar, but thinking about the total amount for the whole month makes sense for some things. But the reality is that when I get paid and when certain bills are also an important consideration. Yeah, you do have to know that as well. Thank you. Turned off commenting for this post, and that you can do that on the thing. So apparently got a couple advices, and at least one that didn't like, I guess, and was like, okay, we're done with comments on that. So that's why I put that there, just so I would remember to say that. I guess that's a thing that they can do in the Facebook group. They can give the original poster the option to say, oh, don't need it anymore. And of course, on the subreddit, Reddit, they just delete their username, which they probably made just to post that question in the Dave Ramsey subreddit. And then that gets them out of being contacted for any kind of other comment on that thread. You just need to look at the numbers, be more familiar with the numbers. Like when you go to the grocery store and you buy stuff, you keep the receipt and you look at it and you see how much everything is. And eventually it will get easier. You also can log into your bank account and you can add it up how much you're spending on groceries every month, even if your bank doesn't allow you to group that together and give you that amount. You can still do it on paper or on a calculator or on a computer in a spreadsheet. You can do all that stuff so that you know how much you're spending there. And because a lot of things, people get discouraged when they're first trying to do a budget, a lot of times because they're not paying any attention. And now you're going from not paying any attention to paying the most attention you're probably going to pay it ever. And so that's quite a switch there. And so a lot of people don't have any idea what things cost. And so that's why you got to look at it, and then you eliminate the stuff that costs more money and replace it with stuff that is cheaper. Or don't buy one particular item at all. That kind of thing. And so you constantly look at it, and then you're more aware of it. And yeah, that can be daunting, but it's the people that do that, not having ever been intentional with money, and then all of a sudden they're looking at paying more attention to it probably than they ever will again, and definitely than they have before, and they get disheartened because they're so off by it. But if you keep looking at it and keep adjusting it, then you can do a realistic number. on that. And so the only people, you would still have a problem though if you are unrealistic about, well, I'm not giving that up, I'm not giving that up, not giving that up, not giving that up. So if you're doing all that, then there's not much that can help you if you're setting so many parameters. On that Mila, I have no idea. I have no idea. It seems like most of the polls say Harris, but when Trump won the first time, all the polls, I think, except one, said whoever he ran against. Who the heck did he run against? Biden, wasn't it? Yeah, Biden, wasn't it? I think. Can't remember. Old, you know. And so yeah, all the polls that year, except one of them, said whoever the Democrat was, and Trump ended up winning. I'm hoping maybe someone can guide me in the right direction. Oh yeah, so I have no idea was the point, and neither one surprised me. But also, you know, there's so many dead people on the voting rolls still, and I'm sure people are using those names, at least to some degree. And I don't ever see any articles from Democrats saying their state cleared the voter rolls of dead people. I don't ever see that ever. It's always Republicans. Boom, boom, boom. Marshals. Bank does the grouping per transaction. I thought, wow, that looks like every dollar. That's fun. Since every dollar ran out this month, experimenting with the spending buckets, the bank now. Clinton the first time. That's right. How can I forget Hillary? Hillary Clinton, who's my favorite quote of hers is, "We don't have a spending problem, we have a paying for problem." You talk about somebody that needs to learn the baby steps. That would be that lady right there. But then again, the deficit, national debt didn't go up that much more. I mean, that much less under Trump than it would have under Hillary. So, yeah, Hillary the first time, then Biden the second. That's right. Don't have every dollar for myself. I have the premium version for mom, but I've not kept up with it. I think I read something about they have a sale on it now with the sale, I think. Let's see. Let's keep reading here. I'm hoping maybe someone can guide me in the right direction. Well, this is my right arm, so that means that way. I found out tonight that my boyfriend, beep, beep, boo-doo, hasn't filed taxes for the last 2 tax seasons. Beep, beep, boo-doo. Shouldn't affect you because should not be living with or having finances combined because not married. Let's see. He's supposedly owed money. Why are they? Okay, you know, I get it sometimes. Maybe you think, well, I don't have the money to pay, so why file? But if you were supposed to be getting money back, why the heck wouldn't you file? Dumb. So dumb. My goodness. Where should we start to look for information on how to file back taxes? You can go to a tax professional, or you can just file them. You don't need to do anything extra. It will ask you if it's late. It has a box for that where you figure out how much penalties that you owe on that and interest. They have all that on the form already for you, and so you just need to grab the forms and file. You can check to see if they have a special form for late filing, but I don't think so. I think that all that's on the regular form. Do we need a professional? Unless he can do it himself. Maybe you can help him, but again, doing it wrong. If you have combined finances and are living together. Hello again, fine Ramsey people. Hi guys, baby step 7, Flair. I don't know if anyone remembers me. I don't. I'm sorry. I have no idea who you are. I've been posting a lot recently. I just got into a car accident, looking more and more like my car will be considered totaled. So I'm looking to get probably a 4Runner. I was looking at used ones, and a friend told me to look into a new one since the 25s are getting ready to come out. Your friend Dave Ramsey says you don't buy a new vehicle unless you have $1 million net worth, unless you're a millionaire. Let's see. I could get a brand new one with all the bells and whistles I want for less than what a used one is going for. Okay, and that's not, that's not justification. That doesn't give justification to me. What that means is maybe you don't get a 4Runner then. I mean, on baby step 7, this is where you would do that, and you would say, I want a 4Runner, and go ahead and get one, and all right, do that. But again, doesn't recommend a new one, but, and if you're saying the used ones are more expensive, you need to look at more used ones that aren't as expensive. Because, those used ones, they could be a different model. You could be looking at the base model new price, and then one with the bells and whistles is used, and that might be more that way. But you just need to look a little bit more. Some people, you can't trust people. Like I said, you can't trust politicians, and you can't trust people in general, because people will look at one used 4Runner and think that's how all of them are going to be, and just go by that price. And so can't trust people, especially with their finances. Less than. I know Dave always talks about used vehicles. That's correct. Well, period. That's it. Period. But people always have a but after that. I know, Dave, this. I know the baby steps say this. I know this. Well, if you don't want to follow it, you don't have to follow it. You also don't have to post about it then. You can follow it without posting about it. But I guess they want justification or validation or something. And I've no problem with a used vehicle. Great. I've never owned a brand new vehicle before. No need to start just because you're on baby step 7. If you have $1 million net worth, you certainly can, and more power to you. And of course, you're paying cash for all of that. But if I'm paying less for a vehicle, even if it's new, wouldn't insurance, registration, etc., be less? Not necessarily. No, I would think it would be more on the new one. But I don't know for sure on that. Is there a reason why I shouldn't get new? Yeah, because too much depreciation. Cars can't be losing value like they used to, right? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Stop making up stuff. Stop just reaching for a reason to be able to do what you want to do. Thanks, guys, for all your insight. I hate that I even have to ask these questions. You didn't have to. You could just go get your new vehicle, even though it's against Dave's advice, probably. Sounds like. I just want my baby car back. I want my baby car, baby car, baby car. I want my baby car, baby. And that's not going to happen. But hey, you could buy one just like that. That would be cheaper than a freaking 4Runner. So, makes sense, person. This is the kind of logic I don't understand. Where I want my baby car back. Why are you trying to buy a 4Runner then instead of that model of car? Illogical, Captain. Just started the process of getting rid of my whole life insurance policy. That part is great. But the dots here, that means bad news coming. That's a short round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. My Ramsey approved financial advisor is going to help me find term life insurance. Great. You could also just use Xander Insurance's website or call them. instead of letting a financial advisor find you insurance. But maybe it'll be all right. Maybe no extra charge for that. I was given the cash value of the policy and didn't understand what that actually means. Okay, so that's all that you get from it. So that's all you get. Because you're not dead, you don't get the death benefit because you're still alive. You're the one cashing it out. And so you get the cash value of the policy, which is like the investment value of it. And their investments suck. So it's not going to be that great. And so, but that's what that is. Now, on the other hand, say you kept that whole life policy and you did die. Now, the death benefit would get paid out to your heirs. But guess what happens to that investment? Insurance company keeps it. So what in any of that sounds like a good deal for the buyer? It's a great deal for the salesman at the insurance company. It's a great deal for the insurance company themselves, but it's not a good deal for you. And that's why Mr. Ramsey suggests that you instead you buy the much cheaper term life insurance, which you should get in place before you cash out the whole life. So you did it wrong. So because maybe they'll do a test and find something on you, and then they can't insure you, and then they might not give you whole life insurance back either. So you definitely get term in place first before canceling the whole life. But term life's cheaper. And so if you take the difference in the cost and invest the difference, which will almost certainly, no matter what you put it in, be better than what the insurance company was investing it in, you will be much better off. And then you would get the death benefit paid out, and also they would get the investment. Your heirs would get both of those. And in whole life, that's not how it works. And all of that other crap, velocity banking and whatever other name they come up with. There was another one that was like forever or never ending banking or something like that. It's basically because you're constantly borrowing from that or taking money out of that and such, and that's dumb too. I'm scared to give up the policy because I've had it since I was 17, so it's been decades. Yeah, well, you already closed it if they gave you the cash value of it. Are you talking about the amount? They just told you the amount, or you didn't actually cancel it yet. But yeah, you should not cancel it until you get term in place. Scared of kids not having anything to bury me with if I pass on. I don't quite understand term life insurance or insurance at all for that matter. That much is certain. I'm not sure what to ask my advisor because I don't understand anything about it. Well, you can just ask them to explain it, and they can tell you very quickly what I just told you. And that is how those particular insurances work. All that being said, I'm on my way to 100% Ramsey baby steps, and that is the percentage that is recommended as well. The 100% following it. Their investments made them a lot of money, not you. That much is certain. Sorry, just catching up on the chat. What up, HB? Good to see ya. Primerica, I don't think is the best firm to be working with. But Prudential and Pacific Life, I haven't heard anything. But Primerica, they have a lot of schemy stuff, I think. But if you have term life through them, I don't think that would necessarily be any problem. Yeah, if you, what up, Beth? Yeah, Coach De Niro, and so the reason I had to use that is because it's happened. This is like the fourth or fifth time now. Um, at some point during the day, I get timed out for some reason, and it seems like it's a 24-hour timeout. And so I get timed out for some reason, and so I was in the chat on another name. And so Sid got timed out today. Maybe they targeted you because you're my mod, Sid. Yeah, if it's term life there, I don't, and you're not letting them sell you any crap, I don't know that it would be a problem to just stay there. But yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do what Sid says, which Sid has good advice sometimes, almost all the time, to find a broker that will shop around for you, and that's what Xander Insurance does. Xander Insurance will find you that. Marshall's term life through work. Yep. Marshall is 4 times her salary in that, and what is advised is 10 to 12%. Yeah, sometimes it. I was seeing if you would catch that. Of course you do. Of course you would catch it. 10 to 12%, and so that way it replaces your entire income for, because that's the death benefit, and that's given to your heir, and then your or heirs, and then they can invest it, and that will generate, because it's 10 times, you generate good investments will do at least 10% a year, even if it's just an S&P 500 index fund. That will generate that amount of money per year. Yeah, not 10 to 12. Did I say percent? All right, my bad. Yeah, 10 to 12 times your salary. Yeah. Have the payout amount be the death benefit be that amount. And so then it basically, it's like you, as far as money coming in, it's like you never left. Employer pays for the whole life. Well, everything. You're not putting anything in, even the investment part of it, HB? Check your paycheck. Make sure you're not putting anything into that. I'm so nervous. We are baby steps 4 and 6. Well, you shouldn't be as nervous as if you were on 1, 2, or 3. Let's see. I just scheduled my first additional principal payment on my mortgage. Okay, great. I should be doing 15% of gross income into retirement at that point, and so no step 5 apparently. So yeah. I don't think this is this is not the same one, so that's all of that one. But yeah, why would you be nervous? I mean, all this stuff is, once you get past step 2, all of your snowball amount is not going to companies that you had dumb debt with. It's all going back to you in your full emergency fund. You are taking that snowball amount and you're putting it into emergency fund savings for yourself. And then once you get done with step 3, you start investing, and then that snowball amount, part of it, 15% of gross income, is going into retirement investing for you. And as far as paying off the house early, your snowball amount, whatever that you have left over after doing 4, 5, and 6, as those are applicable. If they're not applicable, you can skip the ones that aren't applicable, but 4 and 6 would be, if you have a mortgage, and definitely be investing, but you invest 15%, and then everything extra goes on the mortgage to pay it off early. You don't just pick a random number of that, you just do everything. Now, at the same time, you can lessen your snowball amount by having sinking funds for a vacation or something like that. You can budget whatever you want to at that point. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. You just got to think every single time. You got to think, do I want to take this vacation to Tahiti, or do I want to pay this mortgage off that much faster? And then Tahiti will still be there when my mortgage is paid off in X years, which if you do it without taking any Tahiti vacations. And so, but that amount, that is up to you. By getting to baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you've earned the right to have some fun and to do that for yourself. And some people do have a problem switching to that, just like they have a problem getting to step 7. They have a problem spending money. My go-to example is on that is, at least for now, because it's recent. The guy was a two or three times millionaire, something like that. And Dave asked him, what was it? Oh yeah, how much would a vacation have to cost you before you would start to get nervous about it? And the guy said $5,000. And Dave said, go book a $10,000 vacation right now. So you do need to be able to pivot, at least to a point. You don't go crazy and spend all your money. Of course not. But if my boy got $2 million net worth, he can take a $10,000 vacation. My goodness. Especially if he's been so frugal all along, not spending money. You gotta break out of that. And I would think it would be, and it's not for some people. Apparently, I would think it'd be easier to break out of being so tight with money than breaking into starting to be tight with money for spenders at the start of the baby steps. But people are different, so that's how that works. Yep, 10 to 12 times recommendation if anyone depends on your income. Right. If no one depends on your income, maybe you get enough life insurance to bury yourself. And then do that. So, yeah. See, Sid knows what she's talking about. That's just busting her chops before, obviously. We like to bust chops. Remember what those accounts are called when you put money in for childcare and other expenses like that, and that pre-tax dollars use or lose per year? You're not talking about a Gerber life, are you? Because I think that was kind of like a variation of whole life as well. Graduated in 2020 with 136,000, paid off final 96K in the past 13 months. Bye-bye student loans. No more credit card loans, no car loans, and that's the advice for sure. Cheers to the end of baby step 2 and the beginning of baby step 3, a much better baby step to be on, because again, your debt snowball amount is no longer going to dumb debt you had taken out. It's coming right back to you and going into your savings account for your full emergency fund. And somebody asked, can you post the budget you followed? And I get it, because of paid off final 96K in the past 13 months. And so what I'm going to guess happened here is that this person makes a whole lot more than the person that asked for the budget to be posted, because this is graduated in 2020. So that means has been working theoretically since then. So, maybe about 3 years on the job. And this is just in the past 13 months, maybe got serious about it then and started cutting expenses and so forth. And so, generally, if in the past a year and a month, if you can put 96K to something, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe at least 150K, maybe closer to 200K that they make a year. And this person that wanted the budget, that thinks, oh, I'm going to figure out how to do this now on my $50,000 a year salary, that's a no. this budget is not gonna help you, because it's gonna be way more. The probably lives in a higher cost of living area, mortgage probably more. Everything's gonna be way more than yours, especially the income. And so, but there may be one or two good things in there though. And I didn't see the budget, so maybe the person didn't post it. But possibly could be something in there that, I mean, and that's great to look at other budgets, even though it has nothing to do with you, because it could be something you didn't think about. And you could also be looking at it and thinking about yours and saying, why don't they have 5 subscriptions for streaming services? What are they watching? And so there you go. They don't need it, and you don't need it either. I'm almost at baby step 3 and have a question. Do I put my $1,000 starter emergency fund into my 6-month emergency fund, or keep it separate? This happens all the time. Your baby step 1 $1,000 starter emergency fund, that becomes your 3 to 6 months. So you just add to that, and that is the same exact fund. You can have it in the same exact savings account at that point. And so you just add to the $1,000 and it becomes your full emergency fund. Any tips on cutting the cable cord to save money? That's what I was just talking about, the subscriptions. Trying to figure out the best cost saving route. Antenna, cheap streaming. An antenna would be the best, high definition antenna. But you're not going to have as many options as you had with the cable. And if you're talking about doing both, maybe, but I'm going to limit you to one streaming service at a time if you're on baby steps 1, 2, or 3. One streaming service at a time. Hey, if you got a Netflix show you want to watch, or 2 or 3, get Netflix for a while and watch that, and then cancel the heck out of that, and then get the Disney one, and then you can watch all the Star Wars stuff. Although the 20th Century Fox Star Wars movies are off of there now. They must have had they must still have distributing rights for that. So Disney doesn't own the rights for those particular movies. They just own the franchise. So those are off of Disney now. The original trilogy. And and also the prequels. So they have the series. Disney still has the series, and the actually they may still have the prequels as well. I think it was just the original trilogies that bounced, but those were also made by Fox. On what step would this, which I'm assuming would be Total Money Makeover or FPU, or it might have been, it was something at 30% off, and that might have been that every dollar premium that I was thinking about. Is like 79, and then it was 30. It was regular price, and it was 33. So that might be every dollar premium. I'm not sure. So if you are looking for every dollar premium, go to the website and check the price. They do have the 50-day Christmas sale going on now, and so you can check that out. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if they drop it anymore Christmas week or not. Maybe Sid the Kid, who has a younger brain and better memory than me, might know that. But what else? What was the answer to this? Oh, okay. So definitely not step 1, 2, or storm mode. Step 3 or higher, maybe. If it's the book Total Money Makeover, if it's SFPU, or even if it is every dollar premium, if that helps you stick to the steps and be more diligent and more aware and get you out of debt quicker, it is worth the $79 or whatever it was. So yeah, it wouldn't be, but anything that I mean, they sell clothing now, so I'm not including that on it. I don't think having a T-shirt is going to make you get out of debt any quicker, so that's a no on that. But if the book or the course or the budget app helps you get out of debt faster, then yeah, it's way worth it. Way worth it, definitely. Alrighty, gonna stick to an hour since I'm doing this every day. Yes, in case you weren't aware, the starting this week. Actually, I did it every weekday last week as well, but that was just like bonus. But starting this week, for sure, it's going to be, until further notice, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show will be every day in this time slot, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And you are watching me on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And my financial content you can get to if you just scroll down on the main page. Answering your financial questions is the former weekend stream, and that's on hiatus until further notice while I'm doing after shows every day. But there are 135 of those, and you can certainly watch all of them. And those are just questions. I don't talk about the market unless somebody has an actual question about the market. I don't do any singing and so forth. I don't do much of that anymore. I used to sing every day, but then they think they got to have at least half the money. The artist that wrote the original song think they got to have at least half the money, and in some cases they get all of it. So no thank you on that. So that's why I haven't been doing that. The Ramsey Show After Show. This is this show, and again, that is every weekday following the Ramsey Show, starting approximately 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there already, and there will be another one soon. I'm still practicing it, trying to get better at it. I'm not familiar with the original song, and that, of course, would be written by Sid the Kid, suggested by Mr. Sid, and that would be My Bad Habits Lead to Death. And so I'll be dipping into the Ed Sheeran music for the second time because the first Ramsey parody-esque type of song I wrote about the baby steps, called the Baby Step Song, that was based on Love Yourself, which was written by Mr. Sheeran, and of course vocal stylings provided by Mr. Justin Bieber. Alrighty. So once again, I am Coach Steve Money, and I am a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, donations can go to CashApp to $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, again, to Walmart, a Walmart gift card rather, to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Still alternatively, super chat on live stream, super thanks on pre-recorded videos. Upcoming streams, of course, the only streams will be the Ramsey Show After Show, and that's Monday through Friday afternoons, following each YouTube Ramsey Show, approximately 5:25 p.m. when that leaves the YouTubes and goes exclusively to the Ramsey Network app. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. The like is that thumbs up button. Please lightly graze against that. You don't have to smash it. I don't require that much effort from you, but if you lightly graze it with your finger or your mouse tapping, it will become dark, and that will register a check mark, or a thumbs up rather, and it will make YouTube suggest me more. Alrighty. As always, make smart financial decisions every day.